Hey, good morning, everybody. Oops, I'll wait. Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Selena, very much for rushing back to your room to get the phone opened. Um, Super excited about today for many reasons. First, I want to tell you I am stoked up, kind of halfway between tears and emotion. Just literally got walked off of listening to Ed Milet speak. And I have mixed emotions about Ed Milet, but man, he always takes all those mixed emotions and throws them out the window because what he talks about, hits right at the core of who you are as a human being. And he tells great stories. Probably one of the best storytellers I've ever heard. So I'm excited because I'm more inspired to make a difference than ever before. So obviously, I'm very excited that we have this amazing young man, Ed Troxell, today. I got to meet him. I was doing a talk on May 2nd in Santa Rosa, California. And I didn't know what the schedule was, but I heard there going to be somebody speaking before me. And, when it comes to social media stuff, let's be honest, I usually just kind of close one eye and close one ear, and whatever I get, I get. But this time I opened up my book, I took notes, and I was really impressed with what I heard. So I'm super excited that he was willing to jump on our Free Friday coaching call. For some of you that we are recording, so for some of you that are new to the call and maybe don't know, or you're not new to the call and you just don't know, I started this call as a way. I remember one week many years ago, I had several of my friends call me in the same week and said, "Hey, Rick, you got a minute?" And eventually I realized that I wasn't going to have enough minutes to keep saying, "Hey, Rick, you got a minute?" So that's where the whole concept of the Free Friday coaching call came from. I said, I'm going to give a minute, an hour every Friday to anybody who wants it. This is company agnostic. If you don't know what that means we don't care what company you're with. We don't talk about company. We are also productivity agnostic. We don't care how many homes you've sold or if you've sold any, or maybe you don't even sell homes. Don't care. Okay. All we care about is that you bring the best of you and we'll bring the best of us. We really want to help people have a better life, period. End of sentence. However that might be. If you've been on these calls or watched the recordings, that sometimes we're talking about things about how to go out into the real estate world and make more money, meaning actual ideas about productivity and things like that. Sometimes we're talking about mindset. Sometimes we had a guy on recently talked about Chat GPT and AI and how it's affecting the real estate world. Well, these are things that are, Renee, it's so good to have you back on the call. These are things that are much different on every call, and there's nothing really that consistent about this call except one thing, is that we are hoping to bring value so that whatever you take away. Now, the other thing is there's thousands of people on the email list, yet we only get anywhere from 15 to 50 on the call, yet a lot of people do watch the recording. What I want to invite all of you to do is tell everybody no, it doesn't matter what company, doesn't matter really what walk of life, that they can come onto these calls and probably pick up something valuable. All right. Nobody makes any money on this. I'm not getting any more notoriety on social media because of this. It's just to help others have a better life. So when I heard Ed ask him, first thing I said is, "Hey, could you come on my Free Friday coaching call?" And he was willing. He said, "Yeah, sure." And I put some of his bio in the email that went out. If you didn't get it today, he'll put it in the chat. And then we will also put it in the email that we send out with the recording of this call in a week or so. Okay. So without further ado, Ed, start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got started doing what you're doing now, a little bit of background, and then I'll ask you a couple more questions. You can get started from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rick, for having me, and I'm excited to be here. And yes, I will have a slideshow for you guys to be able to learn a little bit more about what I do, which is video coaching for real estate agents and helping you really embrace being in front of the camera and using this device that you have glued to you at all times a little bit better, so that way you can market yourself better here online. And really how I got started was I had to figure out what I was going to do when I quit my full-time job at Apple to do business coaching. And I need to figure out how am I going to market myself differently. And that's when I decided to do video. I didn't want to do video, but that was the answer. And I had to get good at being on camera and being able to get over the imperfections and not worry so much about what I look like, what I sound like. Is the video editing going to be perfect? And, all the things that are probably going through your mind or have gone through your mind. And I just did it, and I started to do it consistently. And that's when I started to see results. That's when I started to get more clients and more people talking about me and knowing me before I even walked into the room. And so from there, that's when people were asking, how do I do this? And then I started teaching that out, and here we are now, 7.5 years later, still running the business strong and being able to teach more of you how to use video right from your phone so that you can start self-producing more video content, not just for social media, but for anywhere that you want to show up and for any way you want to communicate with your clients, whether it's text, email, or through social media. All right, Rick. Oh, you're still on mute.
You're still muted, Rick.
Thank you very much, Ed. I appreciate that very much. That's a good introduction to yourself. So when we were, obviously we don't have the same time limitation that you had when I saw you talk.
Yeah.
And I know you prepared some slides and stuff. But what I want to make sure is that that we want just unleash, like be all of who you are and let everybody know all the ins and outs. And for those of you guys on the call, this probably, I've never been on a call where you had to take notes so much, but I really found value in the notes that I took because he'll put some stuff, maybe take screenshots of his slides, but it's some really good stuff. And I haven't put all of it into effect yet because I haven't run it by Selena there, my master strategist. But I think what you're going to hear is going to be amazing. So Ed, take it away, and we'll all be right here learning from you.
Awesome. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. And you all should be seeing Video Mastery in 30 Minutes for a quick guide for real estate agents. And just so you know, it's not just going to be me chatting the whole time. I'm actually going to have you doing some work too. So this is something that I love to incorporate when I'm speaking, is that it's not just me and the content that you're going to see, but you're also going to be engaging as well. So first off, let's start with the mindset. You are smart, you are capable, and you are worthy of being on video. We want to get rid of, I don't like the sound of my voice, I don't like the way I look, video's too complicated, I don't have time. That's a big one. You do have time. You can make time for this. This can be part of your daily and weekly and monthly routines. So really understand that you have the power to do this. And what you're going to learn today is going to help you be able to execute on that and be able to start recording more video, ideally today, especially if any of you are at the event or going to an event, because that's great content right there. So introductions, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then we're going to be talking about why video marketing, because you've probably heard it. And we just really want to start with some facts and be able to make it really relevant to why, because it's not just about posting a video on social media. It's more than that. I'm also going to leave you with an action plan with some goals. So then that way you're not just learning the content, but you also have a roadmap to help you move forward with it. And then the bonus training, which I'll talk more about that when we do introductions here. So if you're watching me on the computer, pick up your phone, scan this QR code. We're going to spend about 2 minutes, and I'll put on some music for us just to bypass the awkward silence. But scan the phone, or use your phone to scan the QR code, or if you're on the computer and it's easier, type in the URL there, and actually I can put it in the chat. Let me go ahead and grab that for us. And let me go grab the chat. Okay, so let's go ahead and spend 2 minutes. Take the time to introduce yourself over on that form and tell me a little bit more about you. And then I'll go ahead and put on this background music for us, and I'll put my timer for 2 minutes. And those watching the replay, be sure to do that too. So even if you're not here live, take the time to actually go ahead and fill out this introduction so I can get to know you and be able to provide you with resources as well.
Yes, and Ed, by the way, I did sign up for this at the event and I'm enjoying the emails I'm getting from you. They're amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I really am. I'm
Oh,
actually
good.
flagging them so that I don't miss them. So
Yes, I love hearing that. Got 1 minute left. About 30 seconds left.
Debbie, you overachiever.
Love it, Debbie. All right, 10 seconds. All right. Thank you so much for doing that. And that will be helpful. I'll check in with you here later after this. But even if you're watching the replay, make sure to take the time to introduce yourself there. And that's where the free training also, you can opt in for that, which will be more around video marketing and being able to help you here online. Let's go ahead and keep things moving here. As we did a quick little intro, but just to let you know, yes, I'm a video coach, really helping you self-produce your own video content using your phone. It's with you all the time, and it's something that people want to see who you are. They want to get to know you. You're in the people business, and they want to get to know who you are and be able to see things from your perspective. So even if you're showing the exact same house as another agent, your perspective and what you record is going to be so different than what somebody else records. And that's what we have to remember. It's not just, well, this house is already being shown by X, Y, and Z, or that kitchen was already shown. No, what's your perspective? And we'll see more examples as we move forward here. Here's a roadmap that I wanted to start off with and just kind of plant the seed here. Where we're at is we're at the starting point. And that's where we gave ourselves permission to not be stuck anymore and to be able to start using video right from our phone to our advantage. We want to activate the power of video. And then we're going to go along this journey, and I'll talk about the planning and recording and sharing stage in just a second, because that's what we mainly focus on. But I want to just point out the scaling part at the very end, because there's that road hazard sign. And the reason why it's there is because when we're starting out, or even thinking about starting with video, most people want to go from 0 to scale. They want to have the fancy videos with all the production, high-end production, the lights, the cameras, the audio, the editing, the paid ads, the full-on YouTube channel that's fully optimized, that's bringing in leads the next day, which is overwhelming, right? And even if you have the money to invest in all that, you still haven't done the work of recording the videos to get to that point to see a return from it. So that's why I put it at the very end and want to remind us that that may or may not be your goal, because at the end of the day, you may never have to go to the scaling stage, and that's okay. But what we want to do is we want to back all the way up to the planning stage. And we're going to go through these here in just a moment. But just to give you a quick overview, the planning stage is really where you're going to be planning out your content and planning the plan to be able to actually do this. Because saying yes to video is one thing, but actually putting it in your calendar and making that a priority, just like your clients, just like your calls, just like all the other activities that you're doing, that's another thing. Then we're going to go into the recording stage. How you actually are going to record these videos, what equipment you need, what do you even cover during that. Then you're going to go into the sharing. So if you learn nothing else, which again, you'll have an action plan at the very end, but if you learn nothing else, it's these 3 steps that you want to focus on in your video journey: planning, recording, and sharing. Because you can record the videos, but you still have to post them. You still have to share them with somebody, right? If you're just getting started, having them just saved on your device is fine. That's a great starting point, because that means you took action and you recorded the video. Then you're going to work your way up to actually sharing it with someone or publicly with others on your channels. So it's all about building the habit and making sure that you do this consistently. We're not going for how many followers can I get today? Can I get 1 million views? No, we're going for consistency, because it's what's compounded over time, and that's what you want. All right, so let's talk about the importance of video marketing, because we hear it all the time: video, video, video. And then we're thinking, okay, but what does that really mean? And we'll take a look at some statistics here in a second to really plant that into the ground here. But really, it's about getting seen more online. We also are building our credibility. Again, people want to know who you are. They want to learn from you and the point of view that you have, the expertise that you, and with your clients, we want to see that and we want to experience that. It's all about building your sphere of influence. It's a big one. Showcasing your expertise. Yes, video or photos are great, but video is even better. It's more engaging. It allows you to actually engage with people. If I just showed you this slideshow without me being on video or even me talking, it's not going to have the same impact as it does now. And that's what we have to remember, is that it's what we bring to the table. It also builds your personal brand, which is huge. Having a personal brand, no matter what company you're with, no matter what you're doing, is huge. And it actually is going to help, especially the younger generations, invest in you, because they want to see a personal brand tied to all different professions, including real estate. And it's a way to differentiate yourself from the competition. Like we said before, you could be doing the exact same video on the same exact house, but it's going to be different because you have a different voice and you have a different perspective that you bring to the table. And you're going to attract different people than who I might attract, or the person next to you here on this call. So here's some interesting stats, and we have the stats here. I won't go through all of them, but you can read them here. But then pay attention to the translation. So we have 70% of homeowners are more likely to list with realtors that use video. So if you're not using video, you're getting less listings, period. And last year, over 82% of all internet traffic was video based. So if you're trying to be found online and you're not using video, well, you're not going to be seen. And then over here, NAR shows that 86% of buyers who search for real estate videos are looking for information about the community or neighborhood. And 70% are looking to tour the inside of a home. So that means that you need to not only provide a video experience of the home, but also the neighborhood and the community, because they want to see what it's like to be there. And again, a picture is great, but if you're trying to stand out and you really want to make an impact, video is going to be better. Now, if we think about the platforms, talking about social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, if we talk about the platforms and we think about, okay, what do they want from us? Because again, they're a business too. We get to use them for free to cost us our time, and in some cases money if you're doing paid ads, but they're still a business. And so we have to ask ourselves, what do they want from us? And the answer is simple. They want video. Video is what all the platforms want, and they're all competing against each other. They're all trying to get all of our eyeballs, and they're trying to keep us on each of the platforms as long as possible, which is why it's important for you to pay attention to what platform you're showing up on and knowing what do they want.
Ed,
Yes, Rick. Yeah.
So I know it's loud in the background. I'll put myself back on mute, but that's the one thing that Casey, my wife, keeps reminding me of, is that if you're posting something on Facebook, don't put a YouTube link, because they don't want you to take you away from that. And maybe I'm the only one who didn't know that, but I definitely think it's worth mentioning, because everybody's trying to keep you right there, right? YouTube wants to keep you on YouTube, and Facebook and Instagram want to keep you on their spot. So yeah.
Yes, no, I love that you brought that up, and it's very important to know that each of these platforms only want you on that platform. So like Rick said, if you're sending somebody away from that platform, really think about, where are you sending them, and is it something that you can do outside of that post? Meaning, if you're going to share a video on your Facebook page, upload the video directly so that it's straight into Facebook. Don't post the link to your YouTube channel. Now, if you wanted people to find you on YouTube, then maybe in the comments on your Facebook post, you can have that conversation with people. If you like this, be sure to message me or check out my YouTube channel. Like, you can do things like that, but putting a direct link in the main post typically is not going to help you get seen on Facebook or other platforms.
Hey, Ed, I know you're going to debunk that, or debunk this idea, but I thought, I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live pretty soon about several very important things to me in my life. And I do Facebook Lives, not that often, but when I do, I'm not that uncomfortable doing it. But I thought, what if I did my Facebook Live on my computer, and behind it, I had my phone looking at me also, recording it to YouTube at the exact same time. I thought, well, at least I'm hitting two platforms, and neither one knows the better, right? So anyway.
Yes. Yep. And in fact, so that's something just to keep in mind for those who are thinking, oh, that's a good idea, maybe I'll do that. Certainly test that out. Keep in mind that that is an option. You can have your two devices, your computer and your phone. Right now, I'm using an iPhone camera that's right above my actual screen for the computer, so that I can look at you and have really direct eye contact. But I've done it where I've had my camera and my laptop right underneath each other, and I've gone live on multiple platforms. So test it out and try it. Keep in mind, when going live, not so much on YouTube, but let's say on Facebook and LinkedIn or even Instagram, if you're popular and you get comments, that adds another layer of work. So not just for Rick, but for anybody, you have to manage more, right? So just keep that in mind. But again, test to see what works for you.
Yeah, meaning, and I think, because when my wife built her network marketing business using social media, she said, getting comments is nice, but if you're not commenting back, then you're losing ground. So I don't want to take your thunder, but I'm just saying I'm learning from you, Ed, and it's worthwhile. So.
Oh, I love it. No, this is good. See, I told you guys it wasn't just going to be me talking. I love it. Yes, when it comes to social media, whether you're posting video or regular posts, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you follow up in the comments. I always say the magic happens in the comments, and it's so true. Not only do you get to know people a little bit better, you might find your next lead there. You can make some great conversations happen there, but it also helps the algorithm. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it helps them say, let's show your post to more people because you're engaging on the platform. Remember, you're spending more time on the platform. You're having conversations on the platform. So naturally, that platform is going to start to push you out to more people because you're giving it what it wants. So keep that in mind. I love that you're implementing, Rick. That's awesome. All right. So here's a simple formula for you. Your video content plus conversations is going to equal conversions. It's as simple as that. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen in the next hour after you post your video, but it will happen. And you have to start with the video content. It starts with you creating that video. And remember, you have to just create the video. You could edit the video if you need to, but you can also get someone else to do it for you. And there's programs that will even do it now for you with AI. You were on a call previously with about ChatGPT and other AI programs. So don't worry so much about the after part, that editing part. Don't let that stop you. Start creating that video content. Again, you don't even have to post anything right now. I just want you to start getting comfortable in front of the camera and start holding the phone so that you get comfortable with that. All right, so let's talk about the planning stage. What equipment do you need? Speaking of phone, you need your phone, which hopefully all of you have a decent camera with no cracked lenses. That's really what you need, is just a phone. And then I love what I call a selfie stick tripod. So it has the extended arm, but it also has the tripod part so that this becomes your assistant when you have no one else around you to help hold the camera. These things are amazing. They're like $20 on Amazon. I have at least 4. It's a problem, but I'm always ready, right? So it's something that can help you between having it set up somewhere as well as giving you some extra reach for when you're filming out on location. I say a ring light, that is a term, and there'll be circled lights. This is not a ring light, but it's another portable light. This can help if you're out on location. Let's say you're touring a home and for whatever reason, the space is dark. Having a ring light will help make it brighter and will help your video come across more clear and sharp. Good lighting makes everything look better, and it can also get rid of wrinkles. So if you're worried about any of that stuff, good lighting always helps. Right now, I'm in front of a window, and the clouds are parting, so it's a little bit harsh. So if I had just the blinds like this, that's not going to look good. That would drive me crazy, right? But I've changed it enough so that it still gets a little glow. And if I'm being honest, it might be a little dark for me, but it's not bad. And I can adjust that. But I also know my timing when the light shifts outside. So if you're in your office filming video, that's something to make note of. And then you can have an external microphone. At the end of the day, the microphones are pretty good on the phones. But let's say you're where Rick's at, right? He's in the VIP lounge and it could be loud. He's using his headphones with a built-in microphone. That works. Use what you have. You don't need to get anything crazy expensive. Use what you have. So let's touch on the lack of confidence, because that's a big one that comes up. Again, start small and simple with your videos. If just picking up the phone is enough of a challenge for you to look at the camera, start there. Then hit record. Then watch the video. Then share it. And you don't have to do that all in one day. We want baby steps because, again, we're building momentum here. We want to build consistency. When you're watching your videos, because it's really important, especially when you start out, to watch the videos, I always recommend waiting at least an hour, if not a day, before you watch the video, because we are our worst critics. We're going to be so hard on ourselves, and I don't want you to watch the video right away and say, oh my gosh, this is garbage, and then delete it, because you're still in that brain space of this isn't good. This isn't comfortable. I don't like this. I'm not good on video. And it's going to cloud the judgment of how good that video really is. And I'd hate for you to get rid of something that is actually good. You just needed a moment to breathe and get rid of the lack of confidence there. And remember, focus on the value that you bring to the table. You all are smart. You've all invested your time, money, and resources into knowing what you know and being where you're at right now. Share that expertise, tap into it, and whenever you can, break it down to the simplest form for your audience, because again, they don't know what you know. They don't know what they don't know either. And so if you can take something and just keep breaking it down bit by bit by bit, you're not only going to have more content to share, but you're also going to be able to relate to them more. And they're going to want to continue to check out your videos, follow up in the comments, message you, call you, have a meeting with you, sign with you. It's all about leaving those breadcrumbs. Question that normally comes up is, how do I make my videos look and sound good? Well, when possible, find a quiet space that's well lit. Now, for many of you, you're on the go. So the car is the only space that you can have, and that is fine. Car videos are fantastic. And in fact, they spark a lot of curiosity. So you get more views right off the bat because people are like, oh, they pulled over. What do they need to tell us? And that's typically your office and your safe space, right? Whether you have the kids at home or the spouse at home and the dog's going crazy, or you just don't want to go in. You're parked in the driveway for an hour doing work. Take 5 minutes to record a video. Test different angles. So you might be straight on. You could have it a little higher. You might go a little lower. Typically, you're not really going too low though, because we don't want to see up our noses. But you can play with different angles and see different frames. So you can be in the middle. You can be off to the side. You can go down so that you can put text above. I'm just planting the seed for when you start to record your videos, and then when you start to think about other things that you can do, because once we open up the door here and flip that switch, those thoughts will come up. And so then your memory will tap into this and be like, oh, I think that guy, Ed, who talked about video, I think he said something about, having a little extra space up top for text. And then when it comes to editing your videos, I do recommend trying to do it on your own in the beginning, because you are capable of doing this. You just need the right tools to play with. And it is helpful to know how to edit your videos, because you don't have to rely on someone else to do it for you if it's important to get it out right away. That's the whole idea behind helping you record your videos on your own, is that you can do it and put it out there quicker. Because again, we don't have to have it perfect. And so here are two apps that you can try, CapCut and InShot, that have different editing capabilities that you can even do on your phone, and can be surprised at what you create in those editing programs. So give those a test. Another question.
Can we ask questions?
Oh yeah.
Can we ask questions now? Hey guys, if any of you guys want to ask a question, you don't have to be shy. Notice I'm not being shy. So if you go, yeah, thank you for putting back. And I took a picture of this screen when you did it at the other place.
Oh, cool.
I haven't downloaded those apps yet. And the reason I haven't is because I feel like it's going to make me want to be a lot better at it right now than I am actually. Like, I'm really good, and it's pretty easy for me to just put my phone in front of me and start recording.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of watching it over, because then when I watch it over, I do delete it. Selena has a couple times during the month where I have to just record a video really quickly, and I'll stand in front of a blank wall or something.
Yeah.
But at what stage do you really start thinking, okay, maybe I'll start editing them? Is that, I'm not just sure when should I start trying to be that technical?
Yeah, great question. And that's really going to depend on you, the individual, determining what you want to do with that video. So for example, if you're good with what you've already created and you're just putting out there and you're like, I'm great, that's awesome. There might be a time where you're thinking, I wonder if I should try adding some music. Or I keep hearing people talk about, trending sounds. Maybe I should try that to see if that would jive with this. Or maybe you had a big motivational talk that you wanted to just put a light background music just to really emphasize. That's when you would want to start editing, using one of these editing programs, most likely CapCut, to be able to play around with that and test it. Also thinking about transitions, maybe instead of it just being you recording the video, maybe you're touring the house. So it goes from you to the house, back to you, and it's just a little too choppy for you. That's when you might want to try one of these. Yeah. Great question.
Oh, I said thank you on mute, but yeah.
No
thank you.
worries, I got it. um, how do I get more engagement on my videos? So telling stories, talk about the home, talk about the neighborhood, talk about past transactions, tell stories. That's what really is going to get people's attention and get more engagement. Address common pain points. Some pain points that people have. Share those. Answer questions. You get asked, I'm sure, a handful of questions over and over and over. And if you don't, you can look on Google to see what questions are frequently asked. You can also ask ChatGPT what questions are frequently asked if you need help with ideas. But address those, share answers, ask questions, ask for feedback, share your thoughts. I'm in the process of updating my logo, and I didn't put it on my actual news feed on my profile, but I did in my stories where I asked if anybody wanted to see the draft. There was 3 options, and if they wanted to share their input, because I thought, why not? I'm going through this process. Why not allow my audience to be part of it? And guess what? I had people who said, yeah, I'd love to. Same thing on Facebook. Yeah, send it to me. Created engagement on the platform. I private messaged them. We had conversations and feedback, which is helping that logo get designed for not only me, but for my audience. It's going to be more relatable. So same idea with your videos, with your topics. Now, this one is the big one, the lack of time. I always say it's an excuse because at the end of the day, we have time to do this. We just need to make the time for it and address it just like we would with any other appointment in our calendar. So plan out your content ahead of time. Repurpose existing content. I bet you every single one of you are on social media. I hope. If not, well, we really need to talk. But if you are already on there, you're already posting, I bet you could take at least one of those posts right now and create a video today in the next 20 minutes, right from that one post. So look at what you've already done. Use scheduling tools. There's a ton out there. You can just Google social media scheduling tools or best social media scheduling tools for 2023, and you'll see the various ones. But use one to help you put out your content in the future, not just I have to be there at 9 o'clock on Monday morning to post this, but I have other appointments. Use a scheduling tool. And remember, it's all about consistency and providing that value. That's really it. So as we talk about creating content, and we've mentioned a few ideas already, but here are some more of what you should talk about, because this is something that always comes up, this question. FAQs, is that frequently asked questions. You could probably write down at least 5 to 10 right now before the end of this call. How about this one? How to prepare for the home buying process. You can break that down. How to expect, or what to expect once you start working together. Give people an idea what it's like to work with you. And that doesn't have to be a public post on social. That can just be part of your process when you're talking to people about taking that next step. Talk about, is it worth staging your home? What's the pros and cons? Client stories, neighborhood tours. What do you like about that neighborhood? In fact, what do you not like about that neighborhood? There's a lot of great videos about pros and cons to moving to XYZ. Don't be afraid to share the pros and cons, because not everything is going to be perfect. And people don't want everything to be so positive. They're like, no, I know there's something. Like, what is it? Tell me. Just be real with me. Now, as we go into the recording stage, think about this quote. This is one of my favorite quotes because it's so true. If you want to look good in front of thousands, you have to outwork thousands in front of nobody. When I first started, I went live. So I didn't just start with pre-recorded video. No. I decided I had to go live on Periscope, if anybody remembers Periscope days, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live. As I continued that journey, I went live, and I started with a live video show 5 days a week, which was nuts for somebody who didn't want to be in front of the camera and didn't like the way they sounded and looked on camera. But I knew that that's what was going to build my skills, and I knew that's what was going to make me stand out from others in the space. And it was, and it did. So really remember that you have to outwork people in front of nobody. So that's why I always say, whether it's live or pre-recorded, expect nobody to show up, because you can't control that. The only thing you can control is you actually recording your video and putting it out there for somebody. And remember, it's just somebody that you're trying to tap into. You don't need to have 1 million people comment and connect with you today on that video, because realistically, you wouldn't even be able to handle that. So remember, you're talking to one person. You just need that one person to connect with you. Rick, were you going to say something?
Yeah, a couple of things really quickly. First, there's some stuff in the chat. I know that you're busy and I didn't know if you had time. I think one of them was one or two of them directed towards you.
Okay.
The other thing, I mean, I've been a professional speaker for 30 years. And one of the things that we used to teach in teaching school, like teaching people how to be better presenters, was internalize, meaning the better you knew what you were talking about, then you didn't have to think about that, so that you could spend more time concentrating on how you're presenting rather than what you're presenting. So one of the things that comes up when you say this, pick a topic, have 1 to 3 talking points, is even if you have those, is know them well enough so that you're not having to look back at the notes or then worry about, oh, I got to peek down at my notes. And I know isn't there some teleprompter apps also, I think, but I'm just a bigger fan of kind of knowing what you're going to say before you say it. And then unless you get into longer videos, of course, but I thought I'd add that. So.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. And it's really important because I know many people want the script. What's the script? I need the script before I can record my videos. This is your script right here. 1 topic, 1 to 3 talking points. Know it. It's simple and easy for you to remember. And then go pick your spot to record and record your videos. That's the script. Because what happens is, if you do get an actual full-on script, let's say it's a page or more, now you're reading word for word. There's no personality coming out. It's just you reading what you wrote. So now you're a robot talking to your audience and it's boring. No, just know what your topic is, know your talking points, and show up, deliver, and engage with your people. That's what it's about. And don't be afraid to go off script. Just like in this call, I knew ahead of time that not only was it going to have slides, but that it was going to be engaging. I didn't know what questions were going to be asked, but I knew that there would be questions that would most likely pop up, whether in the chat or here through the audio. So I was prepared for that. And it's because I know my topic. I know what we're talking about here. And it allows for us to really connect on a deeper level. Otherwise, if it was just me talking the whole time, going through my slides and not answering any questions, well, sure, you might learn something, but that's really boring. And then you wouldn't remember really me. I mean, that's how I got here. That's how Rick brought me onto this call, is because he remembered me from my presentation, which meant the world to me, right? We had just met, but he had saw what I delivered and how I interacted with everyone and felt that I was a good fit. And that's how we ended up here.
Well, plus you have a beard and I have a beard, you know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
There you go. There you go. All right. So now we're at the sharing stage. So you've done the work. You planned the video, you recorded the video. It doesn't stop there. We have to share it. So don't forget to share it. Ideally, you're sharing it on your social media channels because that gives you content that gets pushed out to more people. But you also can share that to your prospects, to your clients through through text or email. You can also post it on your website. It's anywhere that you want to show up online, you can share these videos. So remember that. I'm just going to show a few of these examples here on the next screen, but these women are amazing. They decided to embrace the camera and start to really show up for their audience.
And this is another reason why I invited Ed, guys, because I met some of these people and they are living proof that following him, being coached by him, is working for them in the video world, and it's bringing more followers and more actual business to their table. So I wanted to, blow you up a little bit there, Ed, about that, because this is one of the reasons I thought it was important to have you, is because I was actually able to talk to 3 people that use Ed, that are coaching with Ed, and are getting actual great results. So keep going. Sorry.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes. And a lot of my clients have started with video, but it was inconsistent and it just wasn't, there was just no plan, right? And it just wasn't comfortable. But then you start to see, when you actually give yourself that permission and you get that plan, you can see you start to show up differently and your audience takes note. And it's not only about getting those followers, but like Rick said, actually getting that business and having people talk about you in rooms that you didn't even know they were talking about you. I was just at a ribbon cutting last night, and Lauren, one of my clients here, her name came up when I got introduced to somebody new. That person already knew me and already knew Lauren and the videos she's been producing and talked about how she's loving them. This was a complete stranger to me. And that is huge. So understand that it's really important to record the videos and not just focus on how many likes or shares or comments you get. Of course, those can be things that you measure, but don't let that stop you from continuously showing up, because typically your client is not going to like, comment, and share publicly. That's how it happens. Typically, they're going to either message you or call you up and say, hey, I love your videos. I've been watching them. That one with, the plumber and the thing going on there was hilarious. I'm ready to list. That's what happens. So try not to get discouraged by the numbers that you see on social media, especially when it comes to the follower count, because at the end of the day, the follower count means nothing. You want people to watch your videos and get on your email list so that you can actually connect with them. And then these are just a couple other examples of videos that you can do. So instead of just talking to the camera, you on the face-to-face, you can do unique features like this gentleman here. There's a unique feature in the kitchen where on the island they have a ice chest. So you can have it right there. So he talks about that unique feature. Some people might think that that's crazy to have and a waste of space, but he pointed out that it's a unique feature. This is a home tour. This is a green screen. So you could literally be in your office and just have a screenshot of the home or the reports or whatever it is and show that as a video without even leaving the office. So think about ways that you can start using video, and keep in mind, we do still want to see you. So if you're thinking, oh, maybe I could just do the home tours and not show my face. Well, you could, but it is important to show your face, because again, that's what people recognize. And just going back to that example from last night at the ribbon cutting, the person already knew me. They were excited to meet me. I was excited to meet them because they had already known me, and they also knew my client. So it's huge. It's that connection. Gary Vee is another one that I like to quote here, because it really is this simple. Your content is going to lead to your opportunities. It's as simple as that. So again, you're expecting no one to show up. You're going to do the work because you know it's going to pay off and that it's you're in it for the long haul, just with like real estate. You're not just in it for a quick fix and trying to get the next sale, in the next 30 days or the next month. That could happen for sure, but you're in it for the long haul here, and you know that. So here are your goals and action plan as we get close here to wrapping up. Here are some types of goals that you could have. You don't have to have all of these. These are just to spark some ideas.
Yeah, get a picture of this, guys.
Yes, this is a big one. Record X amount of videos per day, week, month, whatever works for you. But think about that. You're doing these videos to improve your customer service because you're offering the Q&As, questions and answers. You're recording live stream videos once a month. Again, consistency. Don't just say once a month and then you do it every other month. No, every month. You want to increase your brand awareness. You want to increase traffic to your site by X amount, which again means that that call to action in your video needs to be something about your site. Same thing with increased leads and listings, growing your email list. Know your goal, because that's going to help you with making sure your call to action matches up. So here is your action plan. You're committing to video. You're going to create. Now, I'm going to, again, break it down for you because creating video, that's huge. That's overwhelming. And you're like, okay, great, I'll start that, but I don't know, what does that actually mean? So we're going to break it down. You're going to brainstorm 4 to 8 ideas for your videos. That's it. 4 to 8. Then once you have that, you're going to post 1 video per week with a call to action. Notice that 4 to 8 is basically 1 to 2 months. If you're doing 1 video per week, it's pretty manageable for you. Then you're going to engage. We talked about how important that is because it's not just about putting out content. It's about engaging as well. So reply to people's comments. If you get 1,000 comments, you don't have to reply to every single one. If you do, great, but you don't have to. But at least make the effort to reply to some of them. Don't forget to comment on other people's posts. So it's not just about your post and your comments, but it's also about you going over to somebody else's post and engaging. Because again, it's telling that platform, for example, Instagram, that you're staying on the platform and that you are engaging with people. Therefore, it's more likely to show your content to more people. And then I put this review here at the end because I feel that it's really important, especially if you're really the only one on your quote team, right? You're doing all of the work. It's important for you to make time to review your efforts. Check in with yourself. Did I plan this week? Did I record my video? Did something happen based off of that video? Did I follow up with the comments? Like check in with yourself and have it on your calendar. In fact, I have, for an example, I have not only in my calendar a reminder, but I actually fill out a Google form for myself every week. It's a weekly report that I do for myself to check in, to see how my week went, because things happen so fast and we're always on the go that it's one of those things, it's hard to keep up. And I'm just checking the chat real quick. No problem.
Yeah, did I answer correctly for you on that last one?
Yeah, I got some of those. Yep, officers and title reps, home warranty reps, along with real estate. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, all of the things that we talked about today can apply across the board. I've worked with coaches and consultants just online, and then I've also had even a local musician take the same things that we talked about and apply it to their industry. And that's the beauty of video and being able to activate this power of video so that you can use it in your business.
Yep. Okay.
And that's it. That's what I got for you.
All right, guys. So obviously we need to wrap up because we're going to go on to another Zoom. But Ed, guys, take a picture of this and then we're going to send this in our video, when we send out the recording. He's good at what he does. He's great at what he does. Please reach out to him. It will make a difference. And then Matt is on here. He's a lender. Renee just had to get off, but there's people of all walks of life that I've met that Ed has trained, and the escrow officers, everything. So I think we all have a chance to improve our business by using these techniques. So,
yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate all of you being here and learning, even if you're watching the replay. And don't forget to implement, and then tag me if you're on social posting it.
Yeah. And I'll be in touch, Ed. I really appreciate the input today. You guys all go out and make it amazing. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks with another great guest speaker. All right. Take care,
Take care,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.